Welcome to the Licensing Subcommittee to consider an application from Scarlet Pub Company Limited. Have we got any apologies for absence? No. Can we all put phones to silent? And if we are discussing the application, can we refer to page numbers? That will help. Though I'll struggle to get the page numbers myself, but anyway, we'll go there. I want to say what I said at the last meeting. If you can avoid repetition, brevity in submissions, and questions through the chair. Sorry? No, I don't think it's going to be quite the last one. Anyway, welcome. Okay, any declarations of interest?
No declarations of interest from me, Chair.
None from me.
Okay, we'll introduce everybody. So I'm Simon Carswell. I'm the Somerset Councillor for the Street Division, and I'm chair of this subcommittee.
I'm Councillor Connor Payne. I am the Somerset Councillor for Chard South. I'm a member of the Licensing and Regulatory Committee.
Lance.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Councillor Lance Dudridge, one of the members for Bridgewater West, member of the Licensing and Regulatory Committee, and a member of this subcommittee.
Thank you, and then we'll go around the room and just introduce ourselves.
Good afternoon, my name is Alex Kershaw-Moore. I'm a member of the Legal Services team, and it's my role to provide legal advice to the committee and keep them on task.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Am I just pressing once? Yes. Thank you. Thanks. Melissa Tony, Shakespeare Martineau Solicitors. I'm here to represent the interests of Mr. Alex Major, who's the applicant.
Thank you.
I'm Phil Wake. I'm the Licensing and Business Support Officer for Somerset Council and assisting in this hearing today.
Thank you.
Jack Godley, Licensing Lead, Somerset Council.
Debbie Widows, Democratic Services Officer. I'm taking the minutes of this meeting.
Claire, do you want to introduce yourself in hiding over there?
Thank you, Chair. My name is Claire Dickin. I also work in Democratic Services at the Council. I'll be filming this afternoon's meeting.
Thank you. Just remind everybody it is a public meeting and therefore anybody can attend online or in person. Okay, we'll get straight on with business. Licensing officer to outline the report. Is that Phil or Jack? Phil.
Thank you, Chair. Introduction. An application for a variation to the current premises licence has been received by this authority to amend the hours for the sale of alcohol, regulated entertainment and late night refreshment. A copy of this application can be found at Appendix 1, and a summary of the timings applied can be seen in the table below. The White Hart is a 15th century inn located in the city centre of Wales. On the ground floor there is a bar area and the snug, which can accommodate up to 12 people. There is a large self-contained function room situated on the first floor, which can accommodate up to 80 people. Finally, there are 15 bedrooms for guest accommodation and an outside seating area to the side of the premises. The premises is surrounded by a mixture of shops, businesses, restaurants, hotels and residential homes. A map of the area can be found at Appendix 2. The licence for activities, so the supply of alcohol on and off the premises from Monday to Sunday. The new proposed times are 10 AM start with a 1 AM finish. Regulated entertainment indoors, Monday to Sunday, 10 AM to 1 AM finish. And then late night refreshment, Monday to Sunday, starting at 11 PM and finishing at 1 AM. The reasons for the referral to licensing subcommittee. 4 representations were received against the application. Copies of the representations can be found at Appendix 3 to 6. The representations raised concerns surrounding public nuisance, one of the 4 licensing objectives. Contact was attempted to all residents who submitted the representation by a licensing officer on 2 separate occasions. No response has been received from 3 residents to the offer of discussing the variation application in more detail. Relevant observations. This application is to increase the times that the premises can supply alcohol, have live and recorded music, and offer late night refreshment by an extra hour. The current terminal hour for these activities is midnight. There has been no request to remove any of the current conditions on the licence. However, there has been a request to add a new condition in relation to Challenge 25. A copy of the current licence can be found at Appendix 7. A note to make here that looking at the report, believe there may have been an error. There is actually a condition to remove.
Condition 3.
Annex 2, condition 3, which is the condition as it refers to more of a statement as opposed to an actual condition, which is as follows. In condition 3, in the function room, noise nuisance is avoided as ventilation is by air conditioning, which mitigates noise emissions.
So condition 5.
And condition 5 is to change the wording of challenge 25 and put into a more up to date. But that is covered by the police conditions as agreed with the applicant. This variation application is in keeping with other premises in the immediate vicinity of Sadler Street. For example, the Courtyard Restaurant has a license to supply alcohol Monday to Thursday until 1 a.m, Friday and Saturday until 2 a.m, and Sunday until midnight. Live and recorded music indoors Monday to Thursday until midnight, midnight, Friday and Saturday until 1:30 a.m, and Sunday until midnight. The Swan Hotel has a license to supply alcohol Monday to Saturday until 1:30 a.m, and Sunday until 11 p.m. Live and recorded music indoors Monday to Sunday until 1 a.m. This authority has no record of any public nuisance complaints against its premises, and the Environmental Protection Team have raised no objections to this application. Avon and Somerset Police Liquor Licensing made recommendations to the applicant during the representation period. These recommendations have been agreed and will be added to the premises licence as conditions. A copy of these conditions can be found at Appendix 8. Legal implications. The Live Music Act 2013 and the Legislative Reform Entertainment Licensing Order 2014. Live and recorded music is deregulated between 0800 and 2300 hours on premises authorised to sell alcohol on the premises, subject to a maximum audience of 500 persons. The licensing authority has the power to remove the exemptions, but only if and when it carries out a formal review of the premises licence. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. What was his name? Jack? What's his name? That's Jack. Phil. Thank you, Phil. I was confused because Jack kept interrupting there and telling you what to say. He was operating you there. Right. Has anybody got any questions of the licensing officer about the report? Connor?
No questions from me, Chair.
Thank you. Lance?
No, thank you, Chair, and that seems all pretty straightforward and self-explanatory.
Thank you very much. So we'll move on now for the applicant to present their case. Over to you.
I'm grateful, Chair. There's probably very little I need to add, and I seek not to repeat much of what the licensing officer has already outlined. I just draw your reference, please, to Appendix 8. I draw your reference to the fact that through the relevant period, we have sought to engage with all parties with regards to any objections that have been that came to our attention, and indeed, having realised that there were objections from members of the public, indeed we tried to engage with the licensing authority to ensure attempts could be made with them. These proved unsuccessful, and as far as we're concerned, as the applicant, we will ensure that we will try to work within all parameters to ensure that the objectives are upheld. I draw your attention to the fact, of course, that this is an accommodation premises. And so from our perspective, it wouldn't be the case that we would seek to cause any disturbance, not only to other neighbouring residents, but indeed to residents who might be staying at with us within our accommodation period as well. Save for seeking to repeat myself, I shan't seek to go on much longer unless there's any points of clarity you wish me to deal with.
Thank you very much. Questions of the applicant? Connor?
I have no further questions.
Lance?
No, none, thank you.
Any other parties, licensing officers? Alex? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, just want to. We're aware, obviously, that that the premises has a license until midnight. Is there a particular reason for seeking to extend it now?
It's largely just to do with the period of summer that's coming, and having more people hopefully want to come to use the property. They've had a really difficult time, as you can imagine, as most hospitality venues have had. And what they're seeking to do is recover that as much as possible. It just proves slightly more attractive to have given the residents that would stay at the accommodation the opportunity to use the facilities for that extra hour, as opposed to possibly leaving and going to use their competitive properties which are neighbouring, which obviously doesn't do very well for business purposes.
Yeah, and just one more. Have you or indeed have anybody sort of in management at the pub, have they ever had any complaints from local residents that you're aware of?
No, so Mr. Major has only had the property for a short period of time, and during the period of time, I know that he's been very engaging with licensing authority, in particular Ms. Dennis, who's been licensing officer dealing directly with us. And we have reached out to residents in the local area. We've invited them to come to the property to have a look around, to see what the new management looks like on the ground. I understand there's been some positive feedback in respect of those, and I also understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but the licensing officers have been working quite closely in attending the premises at different intervals, I understand, and there hasn't been any issues that have been raised.
Thank you. I've got a couple of questions. I should have asked them before, but are you intending to have any change in the type of business you're doing, especially as it's a new licensee? Because it's quite an, what's the word I'm looking for? Tired premises, I suppose I'd say, inside. Are you planning to change it at all? Or the type of customer you're trying to attract, is that going to change?
There is scope for, I shouldn't say renovation, but redecoration in over a period of time. That's hopefully to take place in the next year. It should not change the type of service that it provides, and it most definitely doesn't change the type of clientele we're looking to attract in any way.
Thank you. And you have covers, obviously. Is that just for residents, or is that for outside people as well?
No, we are hoping we'll attract outsiders as well, in addition to.
Thank you. Will the, I can't remember what their term is, the designated premises person be on the premises, or are they elsewhere?
He will be there as well as, but there are to be two other persons who will also be holding personal licenses that will be active part of the management team.
Thank you. And finally, do you have signage regarding leaving in the premises and consideration to neighbours?
I'm just checking because I believe that was part of our amended conditions within Appendix 8. Might I just please find my way?
Can you help on that, Jack? Do you know if that was there?
It's condition 6.
It looks like it's already there as condition 6 of Appendix 8, so don't overly worry about that. Okay, that's super. Thank you very much. In that case, I'll close that part of the meeting. We'll move on to the objectors. There's no objectors here in person. We've had four written objections, but just scanning them just then, I noticed 2 of them had the hours wrong anyway. They were thinking you're increasing from 10 till 1. When you're not, you're actually increasing from 12 to 1, which probably shows certainly the old licensee probably didn't use the hours fully anyway. So now there's a chance for us to ask questions of the objectors, but that's not going to happen. And hopefully we've all read the objections as well, so we know where the residents are coming from. From the map, I think they're all located around the corner from the premises, but their garden's probably back onto your beer garden. And of course, the license applies to inside, not outside anyway. Okay. Okay. This is going very quickly. So we had a very long hearing this morning, so this is going a bit rapidly. Objectors now they're asked to sum up. Okay. And now we'll ask if the applicant wishes to sum up.
There's nothing further I wish to add unless you wish me to represent it.
Thank you. Does the licensing officer wish to add anything? No? Please go on, say something.
Just summing up, yes. Okay, is this summarising part? Yes. Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you. Decision-making process. Subcommittee must consider this application on its own merits and from the information contained within this application and this report. Members are reminded that the duty of the licensing authority is to take the necessary steps to promote the licensing objectives in the interest of the wider community. The licensing objectives are as follows: prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm. In its decision-making process, the Licensing Subcommittee must have regard to the Licensing Act 2003 and subsequent amendments, the statutory guidance issued under Section 182 of the Licensing Act 2003, and Somerset Council Statement of Licensing Policy, which had been alluded to earlier, is the current MENDIP legacy policy as it has transitioned into the new authority. The options available to the committee are as follows: grant the application with no modifications and only attach conditions as required by the 2003 Act. These shall include mandatory conditions and conditions consistent with the operating schedule. Grant the application modified to such an extent as the licensing authority considers appropriate for the promotion of the licensing objectives, or to refuse the application, giving reasons for its decision. Should the committee be mindful to attach conditions to the licence, they must only do so if they are appropriate, necessary and proportionate, precise, clear and unambiguous, practical, realistic and enforceable, non-duplicative of existing statutory requirements or offences, modern and fit for purpose, and consideration must also be given to the number of conditions being attached. The licensing authority recognises that most licence holders seek to follow the law, and any enforcement action will normally follow a graduated approach, and in the first instance will include education and support. Where licence holders continue to flout the law or act irresponsibly, firm action will be taken. Right of appeal. All relevant parties to the decision of the licensing authority will have the right of appeal to magistrates' courts in connection with this matter. This must be done within 21 days of being notified in writing of the relevant decision. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Phil. So what will happen now is we will retire to make a decision. Yes, I don't know where Melissa would go though. That's the thing. Are you happy to leave the room, Melissa, while we just discuss it, and then we'll call you back if we can make an immediate decision, we will. If we can't, we've got 5 working days to do so. But hopefully we can come to a decision today and let you know.
Yes, I'm happy to do that. Thank you.
I think we'll stay. Will somebody take Melissa out? Some of the other officers have got to leave anyway, so you staying on, Lance?
Yeah.
Good man. Yes, yes. We should have a cardboard cutout of you. But would it be quite a large one, Lance? I can't tell from the screen, but you're looking quite. Actually,
I am. If that's what you're
yeah.
We have the doors there.
Yes, they're going to, yeah.
Oh. I'm quite happy, given the that it meets the licensing objectives. Lance?
Yeah, I think it's only